Welcome to the Morning Blitz with John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in to a tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
And Bandy, we got a lot to be happy about, man.
Oh, we
I
do.
really gotta say. I mean,
do.
you look over and there's some great football going down. It just came to an end. NFL, we get to see the 49ers drop one to the Vikings, and we'll talk a little bit of our fantasy teams, Bandy, because it wrapped up. I know you don't have much to talk about. All right?
Safe to say I didn't win.
You had the 49ers defense, and
it was looking good at the start.
yeah, with that interception, I saw it.
I was like, I made it to a 4-point gap. I'm like, okay, there's a possibility here, and then no.
Yeah, it was before I even hopped on to watch the game. I saw that Kirk Cousins already threw an interception. I already thought to myself, he is not a quarterback that should be playing in the NFL. And then he goes on, obviously, to have a great night with the likes of Osborne, as well as Jordan Addison, as well as just a plethora of just depth on that wide receiver core for the Vikings. On top of that, Bandy, we got a winner in some baseball. In the Astros are not going to the World Series, so I think we can all clap about that one. Thank you. I think we can all clap.
Are you ready for a Rangers-Diamondbacks World Series?
I am honestly all ready for it, because I know, like, I've been talking about, the Phillies, if they go on and win, and I know that people have been hating that take. It's not exactly how I feel. I'm not really, I'm a Yankees fan whenever it comes down to it. Right now, this whole baseball World Series that we got, I don't have the Braves, I don't have the Yankees. I don't care that much. But you know what? It's nice to see a little bit of, I'd say, diversity in who's making it to the World Series. And seeing the Rangers and the Diamondbacks possible, but the Rangers for sure are going to the World Series after beating the Astros, 11-4 last night?
11-4.
Woo-wee, that's exactly what we wanted to see. And then tonight on our station, you guys will be able to listen to the Diamondback Phillies finale, and that's going to be a great one, because the Diamondbacks were able to come back and tie up this series 3-3. And Game 7s is always a fun one. It's always dramatic, and honestly, I do want to see the Diamondbacks win. I want to see them get back to the World Series for the first time since 2001. So that's going to be great. I want to see them
too. Man, I miss those old days, playing those old baseball games with Randy Johnson on the mound.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's a cheat code.
Dude,
but
the teal jerseys
with these Phillies. The reason it irks Braves fans because of the gatekeeping they have done to us.
Yeah. Well,
for the past 3 years, we've been knocked out of the playoffs because of these Phillies teams.
Yeah, and I know how you feel about that. It was the same with the Astros and the Yankees, and then on top of that, the Detroit Tigers against the Yankees. Whenever they came to the playoffs, whenever these two teams met, it always seemed like they were knocking the Yankees out. And it's the same right now for the Phillies and the Braves.
Yeah, there's nothing that'll make you hate a team more is if they gatekeep your favorite team into the playoffs.
The Chiefs.
For me, Houston Rockets.
Yeah?
I hate the Rockets.
You hate the Rockets.
And it doesn't even have to do with the fact that James Harden isn't even there anymore. That was a big part of it. And he still hasn't reported to Phillies practice. We don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, but the last couple years when we were there, we had great teams. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, they were all going off in the regular season. Lo and behold, we just kept getting gate kept by James Harden and the Houston Rockets every time in the second round.
No.
Second or first round.
I'm a guy that doesn't like the refs in the NFL because of the gatekeeping they did back when the Browns made it to the playoffs, got to the second round, went up against the Chiefs and nearly beat them in Arrowhead. And then there were a few penalties, obviously, that came by that were not called. And then Chiefs went on to win that one and then go on, and have a nice little year. That's what I'm upset about. But I look over and I see, these other teams that are gatekeeping. Obviously, it's tough to get back to the World Series. And the Braves have been trying to do that now for the last 2 years. Prior to that, they won the World Series, and everybody's very, hopeful that this team can do the best. And it's similar to my Bruins, where you go into the playoffs and you have the best record in all of baseball, and you're setting records left and right. You're doing great stuff. the hype sometimes gets to you, and you play up against the team that you might dream about every once in a while, and that's what the Phillies are to the Braves, and that's kind of what it came down to. But no, I don't really care. I don't want the Phillies to get on. I want the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. I think that would be an interesting World Series, and it actually might get me to watch maybe 1 or 2 of the games. Okay, I think it's also going to be a very close World Series. Possibly a Game 7 because the way that we're seeing all these, other matchups going, they're going down to the wire, going down to Game 7. It's better than just a bunch of shutouts. Okay, I didn't want to see all that. We got rid of all the good teams at the beginning, and now we have the medium-tier playoff teams making it to the World Series, and you love to see it. Bandy, on top of that, still, we have an interesting day today, okay? Because this is, Bandy, we got a guest, okay? And we changed things up a little bit.
Shifting the lineup.
Yeah. On Fridays, guys, we do our wacky underdog picks, which you guys can hop in online and also just during the show. But we wanted to open up some more space, okay, so people can jump in. Now we only have Drew on Fridays. We have Joe Hunk on Tuesdays.
And what's going to be happening too? We're going to tweak the rules a little bit for underdog picks.
Okay, tell them.
No longer are we going to have. It has to be at least a 3-point underdog spread.
No more gatekeeping.
No more gatekeeping on that. You want to go for those 1.5 point spreads, you can. You want to go for those easy points, but hey, we got a guy in the lead with 7 right now.
Yeah, 7.5, Bandy.
7.5.
So right now, Jason is still leading after obviously getting the Utah win over USC. And there's going to be a lot of matchups this week that are going to definitely, pique some people's interests. It's late in the season. It's where, this is where teams are going to really show themselves. And in the SEC, I'll say that we don't have the matchups that I really want to see. I'm really waiting for the Alabama LSU. I'm really waiting for the Georgia versus Mizzou. But right now, we still have some good matchups going on, and they're very close, as well as you get the Vanderbilt game that is never going to be close. But on top of that, you get Florida and Georgia, and this is just a great matchup that, honestly, I look at and I'm thinking to myself, is it going to be a great matchup, or is this Florida team on the up and up because of their schedule and who they're playing up against? And it kind of reminds me of more of a Kentucky team where they have a lot of success, but then they finally go up against the team that'll challenge them, and they kind of fold under pressure, and that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I got a lot more to talk about with the college football, but today's more of an NFL day, and we're going to stick with it.
On top of all that...
Oh, yeah, Bandy, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, for one. Well, I was going to talk about the true underdog picks more because it's not open to just football as well.
No,
you can pick any sport you want to. We got the NHL season underway. We got plenty of sports going on, including the start of the NBA regular season going on tonight.
Very nice, Bandy.
And I'm very glad that the Lakers-Nuggets game is going to be the early game because I really just want to see Jokic drop a 30-point triple-double game 1 on LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
I really just want to see it happen,
especially
in Denver. That's my ideal goal for tonight.
Okay.
But hey, we got plenty of matchups on Friday, too. I mean, we got like a full slate of games going on now. It is officially underway.
Yeah, speaking of full slates, we also have a full slate of high school football. And on top of that, Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Those aren't eligible for the picks.
I know, those are not eligible. I don't think that's legal. But I don't know. We got to look over at some of these rules with the basketball side of things. Because, I mean, aren't these spreads a little bit bigger than, in college football? You say they're not?
No, not really. I mean, the Nugget, I almost said the Nuggets. The Lakers, the Nuggets. I said it again. The Lakers Nuggets game tonight is -5.5 for Denver.
Okay, so
the Lakers be a 5.5 point underdog. I mean, it'd be the same thing you're going for.
All right, well that's good then. Okay, so then we can still keep it in the pace. Yeah. Okay, there might be some rule tweaking later on, but I don't think we're gonna change it too much to where we're like gonna totally just screw somebody over on the other side. We're gonna make sure we tend to the listeners first, and then we tend to our own self. If it gets overpowered, the basketball matches, you guys better be watching some basketball because you need to know who to pick, so then you can just make up for all of the points.
That's just a strategy
that's
right there.
That's just a strategy right there. Either way, this show is going to be brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you have any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And on top of that, you guys can call in 256-5764.
97.7.
Yeah, Bandy, you got to be ready for that. I'm just We'll let you guys hop in with us when we come back, as well as after our conversation with Joe Hunk. It's gonna be nice to have Joe Hunk on today, though. Okay, we get a little bit of energy on the Tuesdays, usually the days that we don't look at like, there's a lot to talk about. No, today is now going to be a high energy type of day. We're going to cover a lot of the NFL scores. Obviously, we didn't get to talk anything about it yesterday. And we're also going to cover a little bit of our fantasy football, most likely mine, because I set it up so that I would definitely win. And then maybe talk about a little bit of the standings that are going on over there, as well as in Bandy's league, because
Must be nice.
It's very lopsided, Bandy. I'm last in my division, but I still have a better record than anybody else in the other division, and that includes Tom.
I haven't even looked at our standings. Honestly, I'm scared to.
You're scared too?
Okay, I'm not last in my division.
Okay, there you go.
I'm second to last.
You're not too bad. What are you 3-4 now?
3-4.
Okay, that's not terrible. You'll be able to come back from that. Maybe a little bit. And we'll also hop into a little bit more of these SEC matchups coming up this week. Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn. Bandy, you said you're going to be at that game, right?
Yep, Mississippi State, Auburn.
Ooh, that's going to be a lot of fun. South Carolina versus Texas A&M, Georgia versus Florida, and then, heck, why not? Ole Miss versus Vanderbilt, despite Vanderbilt being a 25.5 underdog in that matchup. That's going to be at Ole Miss. But we got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to cover a little bit of these NFL games in the Week 7 rundown here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. A couple of folks could see the lower 80s. Dropping into the low and mid 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. We're going to repeat this process as we head into your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures hanging out in the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, Derek Carr looks a lot better when he's throwing 55 passes on the night against the Saints, or against the Jaguars. He was 33 for 55, 301 yards. Welcome back, everybody. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery. Hey. Bandy, we're going to hop into our NFL recap, but before we do that, I just want to tell you that I had a great little week of fantasy football, all right? I was able to set my team up perfectly to get the victory last night.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear that.
You know, it is really nice, you know, and you're going to feel even better about this because I don't know if you watched the game last night, Bandy, but everything kind of fell into place exactly like how Thanos was able to get all of the Infinity Stones, and then it just snapped, and now I'm going to be one of the best teams in the league going forward in the league. But I got to tell you, having Kirk Cousins, having Jordan Addison really helped out because both of these guys popped off last night. Kirk Cousins looked very confident in the pocket, and this was an upset victory by the Vikings. And I got to say, a lot of people were picking the 49ers, and I don't know exactly why, okay? You can't be too straight up about a team that doesn't have their star wide receiver and has Christian McCaffrey, who played very well, but also, you know, he's a little shaken from last week, obviously receiving a little bit of an injury, but is able to come and really pop off for the 49ers last night. It was almost like he was the only guy to really play on this offense because, I mean, he was on the field almost every single offensive snap, so very good to see that from him. But I was able to get 25 points from Kirk Cousins, and then I was able to get 31 points from Jordan Addison, and he had a great grab, okay, where he literally stole it from the defender and took it all the way to the end zone, I believe for like a 60-yard touchdown, and it was absolutely amazing. And let me tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing one touchdown come across your app, that your fantasy football app, and then another touchdown come across that fantasy football app because your quarterback is throwing it to your wide receiver. And then also, San Francisco's defense got -3 points. And also, his only other player that night was T.J. Hockenson, who is my quarterback's tight end, who, you know, did really well, but it also gave my guys a lot more points. So I won that game 168 to 114 against the Insiders. Looking at the standings, though, this is the ridiculous part, okay? In the league, it goes Dixie Football, 6-1. Wade and the Waddle, which is Chad's team, 5-2. Blitz Greg, 5-2. And then me, 4-3, okay? That's the whole East. On the West side, the Insiders, the team that I just beat, 3-4. And then it goes down to Tom, the Big Dogs, 2-5. Slappy Hoedown, 2-5. And then Burning Kitty, I'm going to say 1-6. So, you know, it is a really lopsided league, and I hope that I can still make it to the playoffs. I don't know all the rules. I'll have to talk with Chad afterwards. But I believe that, you know, since I am the 4th best team in the league right now, I should probably make it to the playoffs, but I don't know exactly how he set up that whole thing. But we'll see how it all goes down. But Bandy, I think it's time. I know you want to get in some stuff. We got to fly through this segment. I got a lot of games to look at, and then we got to talk with one Mr. Joe Hunk. Real quick, what do you got to say?
I mean, I was about to say, for my only hope last night was San Francisco's defense.
That's upsetting. That's tragic. Bandy, you know what time it is. We're back. It's the NFL rundown. Bandy, let's go through it, man. First things first. I talked about it. Jaguars versus Saints. You know, Derek Carr and the Saints team are a humongous disappointment. The amount of talent that this squad has to only be 3-4 on the season in a bad division is upsetting. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, on a roll. 204 yards passing with 1 touchdown, and he also can run the ball because he had 59 yards rushing on 8 attempts. And then Christian Kirk, 6 receptions, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Just a great performance from the Jaguars where they were able to score consistently throughout the game and end up with 31 points to the Saints 24. Moving on. Now, Bandy, this one upset me, okay? I did not expect the Dolphins to, lose this game. I thought it was going to be a lot more high-powered offenses, but you look over at what the Eagles got. The push is overpowered with this team.
It's a 92% conversion rate.
Oh, my gosh. And then you see yesterday the Vikings trying to do it, and it was just embarrassing. And they could not push it in at the 1-yard line multiple times. But you see these Eagles popping off. Jalen Hurts, 279 yards. Roll Tide, 2 touchdowns on the night. DeAndre Swift had 62 yards on the ground, and A.J. Brown is absolutely amazing. 137 yards receiving with a touchdown. This kid is elite. Titans are kicking in their shoes, kicking in their sleep, because they got rid of him 2 years ago in the draft. Tua Tagovailoa did pretty good as well. 216 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Raheem Mostert was held up all night. I got to know that one because he was on my team and only got me, I think, 6.5 points. Tyreek Hill, though, absolutely elite. 88 yards, 1 touchdown on 11 receptions. Eagles win this one at home, 31-17. They move on to 6-1, while the Dolphins fall to a still nice 5-2. Moving on, Chargers, Chiefs. 2 elite offenses going at it. Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback on a team that does not know how to use him. 259 yards passing from him, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. The last one coming later in the game. The defense for the Chiefs showed up, just knocking down a lot of his passes. He was almost 50% on his completion rating, and almost every single one that he completed was beautiful. Every single one that he didn't complete was knocked down. Good defense from the Chiefs led to the victory, 31-17, shutting out the Chargers in the second half. Patrick Mahomes being absolute Houdini mode. 4 touchdowns, 424 yards. This guy's ridiculous, guy. He just keeps making plays happen. Chiefs move to 6-1 and possibly are the best team in the league. Packers versus Broncos. 2 teams that are very underwhelming, and it's very upsetting to see. Go into Mile High Stadium and have exactly what we expect. A very weird game. Russell Wilson can still cook. He honestly looks like Patrick Mahomes if he was 17 years older and was able to, get a touchdown, 194 yards, and he looked pretty good. He just cannot push it in at the end of these drives, which leads to them having to kick several thousand field goals and only scoring 1 touchdown on a pass. Literally, there are so many field goals in this game. It was ridiculous.
I'm just opted in to never watch a Broncos game ever again.
It's so bad. Cortland Sutton, though, doing big stuff. 76 yards on the receiving and a touchdown. And then on the other side, A.J. Dillon was the entire offense of this team, and it's very sad to see. But right now, you got to wait because their main man, Aaron Jones, is still getting better. He had 8 points in fantasy. He had a few yards. He didn't really do much. Whenever the Packers get this man back at 100%, they're going to be looking a lot better, and we're going to see Mr. Jordan Love playing a lot better as well. But let me tell you, that last interception thrown by him was a devastating one. 180 yards from Jordan Love, 2 touchdowns, and the loss to the Broncos, and they fall to 2-4 as the Broncos rise to 2-5. Oh, 19-17 in that game. Steelers, Rams. I don't know how the Steelers keep doing it, and their offense finally starting to look like something. It's the first time their offense is actually trying to play a game, but they were able to hold the Rams to 17 points. Cooper Kupp was not a huge thing, or a huge deal in this game, but Puka Nacua still bringing up my fantasy points with 154 yards. This is a rookie, guys, and he had 8 receptions on the day. Matthew Stafford, 231 yards passing with a touchdown, and Kenny Pickett. No touchdowns from him, but it's okay because Najee Harris from Alabama had 53 yards on 14 attempts and a touchdown. George Pickens had 107 yards, so he's the guy to really look for in that game. A big push at the end of this one from the Steelers gives them the 24-17 win, and the Steelers move to 4-2. What is up with the AFC North? Just give it to the Browns, please. Moving on. Seahawks, Cardinals. Cardinals offense cannot just rely on the pass. Josh Dobbs, he's not the best passer. He can run the ball, and he did just that as he was able to run into the end zone for a touchdown. But they didn't score that much past the half. They didn't score at all. And that beautiful, beautiful catch from, what's his name? What's his last name? Oh, jeez.
Think about Smith and Juba?
No, I'm not thinking about him. I'm thinking about the other guy. I'll figure it out here. Jake Bobo, that's his name. I knew it was funny. Jake Bobo with a miraculous catch in the end zone to give the Seahawks the lead, and honestly, it was the winning score because after that, the Cardinals did not score ever again. Kenneth Walker did really well, 26 attempts, 106 yards, and yes, Smith and Jigma did good too with 63 yards and a touchdown. Geno Smith looking very good. It was the battle of two veteran backup quarterbacks trying to make a name for themselves, and I think Geno Smith won this battle. Moving on. I'm not even going to talk about the Washington Commanders and the Giants. That's just an ugly matchup right there. But I will talk about the Bears and the Raiders because, guys, it was, you know what? No, I don't want to talk about this one either. 30-12, two backup quarterbacks going at it. Brian Hoyer has lost 13 straight starts, and he is becoming to be it's one of the worst stats you don't want to have. Ravens destroyed the Lions, but it doesn't matter according to one Mr. Wolverine Dan because, you know, it's not in the same division. It's not in the same conference. So, you know what? That's one way to look at it. But they lost 38-6. Lions only scoring their points in the fourth quarter. Browns, Colts. Myles Garrett show all day long. Man had 2 forced fumbles, blocked a field goal, and did a lot more. you know, one of those fumbles also turned into a touchdown, so that's a pretty big deal. 39-38. Browns defense wins yet again. Their offense can't do anything because Deshaun Watson, the $240 million quarterback, has hardly played a snap. Patriots, Bills. Patriots surprised the Bills in this one. Bills are on the downslope as Mac Jones looked really good in this matchup. 272 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson had a heck of a game as well. And then also Josh Allen. It might be the curse finally coming to get him, but just a bad day for him despite putting up 265 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Cooks looked good though, but the Bills lose this one 29-25. And then the Vikings last night able to get the upset victory over the 49ers even though they could not finish drives, score touchdowns. They had good help from Jordan Addison, who had 123 yards on the night as well as 2 touchdowns. And that run game started to look a little bit better with Cam Akers at the helm. Brock Purdy, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had 15 attempts, 45 yards. And George Kittle had 78 yards receiving. 49ers just couldn't get it done. Now fall to 5-2. 2 losses in a row. And it could have been a lot different if Jake Moody was hitting field goals. 22-17 was that game. And then the Falcons able to take over against the Buccaneers, 16-13 in a field goal showdown. A lot of these guys not being able to find the end zone. That's the rough thing about the NFL. These defenses get better and better as the weeks go on.
I don't know if it was just for defense in that Falcons game.
What are you saying?
Desmond Ridder's not good.
You really don't think?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I like Desmond Ridder. He had 250 yards.
Probably a nice guy. Just not a good football player.
Well, it's hard to be better than Baker Mayfield. It's the confidence that gets him through. And you know what? We got to get through these breaks. That's the NFL rundown for Week 7. When we come back, Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone will be on the other side. Stick with us here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Is your AC system or heating unit making those sounds that go bump in the middle of the night? Thomas here from Talon Heating and Air again. Thomas, you guys are just a phone call away from keeping those ghosts and goblins from causing nightmare problems.
That's right. We're offering a $59 special right now to do a heating tune-up. That's getting your air conditioner or your heater ready for the wintertime. We're also doing a free gas safety inspection along with that. So if you have gas in your home, we have Master Gas here on staff. We're certified with the state to take care of all your gas issues. So we're going to throw that in with that $59 tune-up.
And if you can get that tune-up now, it'll be ready to go once the cold temperature set in.
That's right. Yeah, all you you have to do is give us a call at 256-503-4490. Visit us at our website, talenthvac.com. We'll be more than happy to get out there and get you tuned up.
One more time with the phone number.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Don't let those heating and cooling units go bump in the night.
AL cert number 21014.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. A couple of folks could see the lower 80s. Dropping into the low and mid 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. We're going to repeat this process as we head into your Thursday. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures hanging out in the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello and welcome back into the Morning Blitz here on a tipsy Tuesday in no man's land. John Abraham, Captain Cool alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery, and we will get one Mr. Joe Hunk on the Neighbors Wealth Management line here in a second. But before we do that, it was an interesting week for Tennessee, okay? I mean, they didn't win any games, thankfully, because, Tennessee Titans were on a bye week, and the Tennessee Vols were playing up against our Alabama Crimson Tide. And to help us kind of look at this matchup and tell us what went wrong for the Vols is one Mr. Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Joe, your kid predicted it. I'm just so sorry.
No, seriously, he did. He totally screwed me over right then. Like, I thought that him and I had a thing going. I thought that we were going to work together on this, and that he was going to say Tennessee because Uncle Slay played basketball for Tennessee, and he loves Uncle Slay, so he was going to say something. But no, he doesn't. Instead, he goes, Alabama, and makes my wife happy. But then he also gets it right because Tennessee sucked.
We can't say that Tennessee sucked all the way through. They just sucked in the second half.
They sucked in the second half.
There you go.
That's when they sucked. They sucked in the second half, which is kind of important when you have to win a football game.
Yeah. It definitely is. It's the half that really matters. Because I even said to the guy sitting next to me, whenever, at least we both had good halves. Like Alabama obviously having the better half because, they were able to, shut out Tennessee 27-0. But I will say, Joe Milton at the beginning of this game, Squirrel White, I mean, this defense as well. Tennessee was rolling and even had a big lead. But talk about kind of where it all went and what you liked about this matchup as well.
So look, I'm not going to act like I'm changing my philosophy on a lot of things, but I'm still not a fan of Jalen Milroe. I'm just not, okay? But what I think happened, and I could be totally wrong, but what I try to do every single time I'm watching a game is I try to put myself in a huddle or in the coach's room or something and be like, if I was sitting there what would I have said to make this happen? And so I'm watching this game, and what I truly believed happened is at some point in time, especially when Alabama got back into it and got the lead, what I think happened is somebody went over to Milroe and said, look, okay, what have we always said about Milroe? He can make the first decision. He can't make the second decision. He's not good at it, okay? So what I seriously think happens is they said, look, if your first option is not there, if you see a hole, run. And just make sure that you get down in bounds where the clock keeps running.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, because that continued to happen, Milroe would drop back, he would look for his first option, and then he would just see a hole, like, to the left side, the right side, or even up the middle, and then he would bust it for 10 yards, and then he would slide down, and he's like, all right, cool, well, this is all I needed. I got what I needed to get, and that was it. And Alabama adjusted, where Tennessee did not adjust at all. They were trying to do the exact same thing that they've always done, and they tried to do in the first half, and it did not work at all.
Yeah. And we talk about Jalen Milroe and kind of how he has that one mindset where he wants to try and force the pass, or he doesn't pass it at all, which leads to the sacks. And that was kind of evident in that first half of the game. And I do think that he had the biggest change with the way that he was playing that definitely helped the Tide win that game. But
and then there's this other thing. There's this other thing that I didn't mention. This part about if it's 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, it is not a rule in football that you have to try to run up the middle. It's just not. Like, you can do a lot of things. You could get in your I formation. You could do a rollout, and, Joe Milton will most likely have the ability to get 1 yard on the outside if he did a rollout. There's things like that. But, see, I was talking to some people after the game, and they said, look, this is what Josh Heupel does. Is there times where he struggles to make adjustments? He did this at UCF, and it would infuriate UCF fans, is that he would not make adjustments, and he would continue to run the same thing over and over, and the lack of adjustments is what would become infuriating. That's what I feel like happened on Saturday. He didn't adjust because there were multiple opportunities that he had, and especially in 4th and short, where he continued to run the same play, and Joe Milton would get to the line and go, oh, look, there's 35 Alabama players within 4 feet of myself and the line of scrimmage, as well as the first down marker. You know what? Let's still run it up the middle. I think we can still get this. No. Audible out of that crap.
Yeah.
Like, at least fake the audible so Alabama adjusts. None of that happened.
And one thing that I got to say, the biggest surprise from Tennessee was seeing the running game kind of just not get going. I know Alabama has a spectacular run defense, a spectacular defense in general, but I was very surprised to see Dylan Sampson, Jabari Small, and Jalen Wright be held to really under the yards that any of these guys are used to. And then seeing on the other side, Jace McClellan able to get all of what these guys got and more with 115 yards. Kind of just talk about what went wrong in the running game too.
Well, and the running game was because of the simplicity of it, because you didn't use the passing attack the way that we talked about on Friday to be able to go, because the only times that Joe Milton tried to go deep, he was overthrowing his receivers, or he was throwing it out of bounds, or, things like of those nature that you're sitting here thinking, like, this is not going to benefit you whenever you're trying to utilize the run game. Utilize, the RPOs. Like, the RPO game wasn't even there. The read option game wasn't there. Like, Joe Milton, and his one thing that he's done is it's very similar to what you see with a lot of other quarterbacks that are mobile, is they focus so much on wanting to become a better passer that when it is time for them to run and they don't do it, it's because they've been instructed not to, where instead that would have given them the first down and would have kept the drive going.
Yeah, and looking over to a totally different game, just because we like to make fun of some teams, and I think we can definitely make fun of both Mississippi and Arkansas. Neither quarterback threw over 100 yards, and it's surprising from KJ Jefferson, but Mike Wright having the better game in the air and also on his feet with 1 touchdown, as well as 60 yards rushing. Kind of just talk about the biggest problem with these two teams and why they just cannot get it going compared to the rest of the SEC.
Well, I think that it has to do a lot with scheme, and a lot of this. That's where the problem with this lies so many times is going to be your scheme and playing to your your strengths. And with KJ Jefferson, that is something that you could possibly see, that there's been a change in the scheme, the change in the thought philosophy of the way that the team is wanting the football to be moved down the field, the offense that is being played. And a lot of times that doesn't mesh with what your quarterbacks are. I mean, that's going to be something that you will see a lot in college football, is something around like Arkansas, Mississippi State, especially with Mississippi State. I mean, unfortunately with Mike Leach, he passes away, and their brand new head coach, which used to be their offensive coordinator, says, oh, no, you know what? We're going to go with a totally different scheme in this. And now you bring in somebody like a Mike Wright, who was actually decent at Vanderbilt. Like, he wasn't amazing, but he was decent in this way. But things just don't click. And it's something that, he shouldn't also be your leading rusher with 60 yards.
No.
Like, why on earth would you be a leading rusher with 60 yards? That doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, Joe Milton, just like a little, Joe Milton, I would say on that, but that was a funny joke. Moving forward, Tennessee versus Kentucky. Honestly, this is the closest game when it comes to the spread. It's a 3.5-point favorite in favor of the Vols. They're going to be playing at Kentucky at Kroger Field. Kind of just talk about this game because I don't see this type of spread. I see Tennessee absolutely obliterating Kentucky, as they're kind of on the down and down as of late.
Yeah, no, you're not really wrong on this. And again, I sat here on last Friday and I told you that I thought that Tennessee was going to be able to beat Alabama by 10.
No.
But the fact that Leary right now is not passing as good as what he was supposed to. He turns the football over at least, once or twice a football game. He's struggling with that. You don't have a dominant wide receiver on the outside. You're giving up a ton of points. Like, everything is measuring up for Kentucky to not be a team that can keep up with Tennessee's offense. If Tennessee's offense plays the way it's been playing, like, I have to put that caveat in everything now, because Tennessee didn't do that against Alabama. They did not do what worked for them. They did not spread the offense out where you were making sure that the up the middle didn't have as many people in the box and they were able to do what they wanted to do. Those are the types of things that you need to look for. And it's weird to say that for a team that's 5-2, that Tennessee should be coming in and should be able to beat them by more than 4 points. But that's what should be taking place. That's what should be, because right now, if Tennessee is smart, they will try to deep pass, because Kentucky is giving up a ton of passing yards so far. So if Joe Milton can actually connect on some of those deep balls, which he did not against Alabama, then you're going to be able to open up that running game, and that's where they're going to have to be able to make a big difference in this. But again, God knows what's going to happen over the next 4 days. I'm just trying to get, and every one of us are just trying to get Josh Heupel to actually answer a question instead of sit there saying next question.
Good stuff, Joe Hunk. I did see that. It was honestly just, it's awkward when you ask the coach questions and he just doesn't say anything. Even though, obviously it's a touchy subject. I mean, they still got to, answer these questions. I mean, they're getting paid for more than just coaching.
Trust me. I mean, let's be honest about this, though. I mean, if he would have said something, then the ref would have came in and thrown a flag. But if Nick Saban would have said something, Lord knows that no flag would have been thrown, because one penalty for 5 yards or, things like that. So, again, those are the dumb things. That was what would happen.
No.
The Tennessee game was frustrating for me, just because you did everything that you should not do against Alabama, and Tennessee did. Yeah. Tennessee should have won, and instead they totally crapped the bed in the second half.
Well, I don't know if Tennessee should have won the game, but I will say I expected it to be a lot closer, and at the end of it, I definitely expected it to come down to at least the wire, especially with Tennessee's lead they had in that first half. But next challenge really... Well, outside of Kentucky, because we kind of talked about how we think this game is going to go. UConn is after that, and then the big game that I'm looking at is going to be against this Missouri team at Missouri. This is a team that, has been surprising really everybody, already doing better than last season with the 7 wins, and now, going against the Tennessee team at home. I mean, it's just, what do you expect out of this team right here?
Well,
yeah.
Okay, see, that's exactly how I feel. How about you ask that question one more time so that I can just think about this for a second?
Tennessee, Missouri.
Yes, Missouri. And the fact that Tennessee and Missouri, look, man, I just want Tennessee to play up to their capabilities, and this is what the crap is, okay? Because here's what my life is right now, okay? I'm not going to act like I'm an analyst right now. I'm going to tell you, here's what my life is, okay? I work with a lot of Tennessee balls, okay? I just do, okay? I walk in every single day. Everybody is, it's like Rocky Top is playing 24/7 in the studio. It just happens, okay? And then not only does Alabama beat Tennessee on Saturday, then we walk in on Monday, and we all think, you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about this Tennessee loss, and we're going to work through this together. And then what happens? Ren Carthon decides that he just wants to kick us in between the legs and just break our apples wide open, and decides he wants to trade Kevin Byard. And now the most liked person in Nashville, the most liked Tennessee Titan. I don't care what anybody says about Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry is the face of the Tennessee Titans outside the state of Tennessee. Kevin Byard was the soul of the Tennessee Titans, and so then that happens, and he gets traded away. That's the crap that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. Okay, that's what I've got to deal with when I walk in today, because not only is Josh Heupel not answering questions, I now have to wonder about the fact that I'm going to go into the Gamer Zone tomorrow night. I already don't have Kevin Byard, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have Derrick Henry or not. Okay, I'm terrified of this. Okay, I'm terrified that I'm going to wake up or I'm going to go to work here in about 30 minutes. Derrick Henry is going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, because apparently we send all of our good players to Philadelphia for them to win and play in the Super Bowl. All right, and then the same way, I got Tennessee over here that wants to act like they're back and they want to be really excited about a lot of things, but instead they decide to go down to Tuscaloosa and they want to crap the bed, just like they crap the bed against Florida, and they do everything they're not supposed to do in Tuscaloosa. Like, this is now the Battle of Dixieland Delight. This is no longer the third Saturday in October. This is the Battle of Dixieland Delight. And Dixieland Delight's like the World Championship belt. Whoever wins the game gets to hold that belt for 100 or 365 days. And now for 365 days, Tennessee doesn't have Dixieland Delight. And it's very disturbing for us.
Sorry to hear it, Joe, but I enjoy having you on. And you know what? We'll do it again next Tuesday, because this is the new day we're going to have you. Thank you very much, Joe. Love talking with you, brother.
Did I get kicked off Fridays? Is that what really happened?
We had to make more room, and some things we have to get in, so you know how it is.
Okay.
Tuesdays are better for you, though, I would say.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm not complaining. I was just seeing if you were just going to be straight up and be like, yeah, Joe, you sucked on Fridays.
No!
Let's move you to Tuesdays. I mean, like, bro, just be honest, okay? Come on.
If you were cut off, we'd just totally kick you off. Good stuff, Joe.
I know. All right, love you, bye.
Enjoy Spider-Man.
Joe Hunk.
He told me he's been trying to play it forever, but his kid keeps getting into trouble.
Well, I mean, he's an Alabama fan, so, I mean, we stay in trouble.
Yeah, we stay in trouble.
But we got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to close out this show here on a Tipsy Tuesday here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Now, I won't let the listeners dictate my opinions on this show. It's my show, Bandy. But let's go Diamondbacks. Let's go Diamondbacks, baby. Let's see it. Rangers, Diamondbacks. That's what I'm calling. World Series.
I'm all in on the Diamondbacks right now.
Rangers going to win it all, though. I'm going to just place that down right now.
You got the Rangers winning the
I
whole
got
thing?
the Rangers. I used to play like Little League Baseball on the Rangers, okay? It was my first year in baseball. I was 5 years old. The Texas Rangers. I still got my jersey. Maybe I'll wear it one of these days. You know what? If they win, I will wear my Little League jersey that I wore when I was 5 years old on the show.
No, you want to know what's ironic?
What?
Me and one of my best friends, we played Low League Baseball. Like, we were on the same team like throughout the entire time at one part.
Yeah.
He had to move over, so I'm like, all right, you know what? If he's transferring over, we're going to transfer over too.
Why not?
Transfer to different park, went on to win the championship as that team, and we were the Phillies.
Oh. So, Bandy, I mean...
We were the Angels all before, like, over at,
yeah?
I think it was Eastern? Yeah, Eastern.
Okay. Well, you got a predicament. I mean, you're going for the Diamondbacks, though.
1 year is the Phillies, and we win the championship, and Diamondbacks all the way.
Okay, Diamondbacks all the way. That's what we're going to agree on. We've had a lot of fun in today's episode of the Morning Blitz. We talked with one Mr. Joe Hunk. We talked a lot of football, a lot of NFL. We also touched on a little bit of college football. But, Bandy, the real thing that's going to come out of this show is the new nickname I'm going to give to the star wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings. One Mr. Jordan Addison. I've officially given him the name The Trilogy.
The Trilogy?
The Trilogy. And I think it works out perfectly.
All right, why does the Trilogy work out? What came up with this name?
Okay, because we're looking at a wide receiver that was drafted that is having a lot of success in his rookie year. It's the third time this has happened where we've seen a rookie wide receiver for a Vikings team find this much success. The first two,
fair enough.
Randy Moss,
okay,
Justin Jefferson, back in 2020, okay?
Yep, fair.
And this is the third one, the Trilogy. The guy that wears number 3, which matches perfectly, one Mr. Jordan Addison. Spectacular night for him last night as he scored 2 touchdowns. It pretty much gave the win to this 49ers or this Vikings team over the 49ers, and it was a lot of fun to see. The NFL leaders from this past week: Patrick Mahomes sits atop all the quarterbacks with 424 yards on his day. He had 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. In the rushing world, Kenneth Walker actually had the best today with 105 yards rushing. He had no touchdowns, but 105 yards rushing, and behind him was Dante Foreman for the Chicago Bears, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, and over in the receiving tier, Puka Nacua and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, number 1, with 12 receptions, 179 yards, baby. This Taylor Swift thing's working out perfectly for him.
It really is.
It's not working out perfectly for us because I'm sick of seeing it. No, I'm not going to be that typical.
That's not that bad.
I'm not going to be that typical,
It's
football
not that
fan.
bad.
It's like, oh, the Swifties. No, I don't care. This is good. My girlfriend's watching football for once. Puka Nacua, though, 8 receptions, 154 yards, and behind him, A.J. Brown, 137 yards, 10 receptions. Lots of talent. And tomorrow, We'll be continuing on with the NFL talk with Mr. RJ White. And on top of that, some more college football coming your way in 22 hours here on The Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowery of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient